Hey y'all. So, oh, probably should bring my mic over. I probably imagine you could kind of hear me, but let's make it a little better. Okay, so just trying to get a little bit more paint down on Royce and Adrian. Got a couple of characters here that finally got through their second scenario. Now, there is a chance, I say, there is a chance that we might actually end up playing with multiple people on FrostHaven. We've got two people who are interested in playing when we don't play our D&D campaign. So there's potential there. Now I don't know how much, hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing here once I get started. It's not it's real easy to guess we'll see how much this light provides, how much light this provides. Okay, so this is Adrian. She's got a ways to go. She's been getting used a little bit, so she's probably not as well painted as she could be. She's got a little bit of fade even from the paint I did put on her, because she's I want to put a little color in her face. Now these minis are okay, meaning they're not bad, they're just not fantastic as far as their detail goes. So gonna have to take a little bit of, oops, a little paint on her hair even. And I know, I apologize, I gotta do something about my camera. I'm still trying to figure out the best camera setup. I don't really have a great camera. I have a webcam that died. I can't zoom with it anymore, and it doesn't focus worth a dang at close range. This one is a DSLR, which is a little better picture, but unfortunately it's not meant for web. This is an older DSLR, so it's not meant for web streaming. And I did set, I put a hack on there that allowed, really the biggest hack, the only thing the hack really does is eliminate the timeout, so the screen won't keep going off. But for some reason when it's streaming like this, it keeps freezing up. I don't know if that's the Elgato device having trouble with it, or if it's the camera itself. I don't know. So I apologize. Hey, Joel. Yeah, I kind of did a little bit of that. My wife is working on my wife is working on the goodies. She is planning the green bean casserole. That's pretty easy, she says. She's also making her potato casserole, and she's making what do you call it? Her chicken skewers that she made the last couple times. Kind of becoming her go-to, thing for the holiday party, and which is good because we don't get those chicken skewers most of the time, and I love them. They're kind of like a teriyaki chicken skewer. So yeah, and then Hallie's making cookies. She's prepping up some, those Hershey's Kiss peanut butter ones. Well, she's making those, but with a chocolate cookie instead of a peanut butter one. I don't know. She's experimenting, so we'll see how it comes out. I tasted the dough. Dough's pretty good. So I guess we'll see. Oh, nice. Yeah, we're gonna have plenty of goodies then. I don't know what else everybody else is bringing. I know Brian texted me just a little while ago. I guess something's come up, but he ain't gonna make it. So I don't know. He's got something that he can't get away from, he says. So I'll just have to do without him today. But he'll be at gaming tomorrow, he says. Oh yeah. I mean, you know, even cookies that don't come out quite right almost always still taste good. You know, it's like, yes, you can't. I mean, the only way you can really make a cookie that doesn't taste good is forget the sugar or something. If you forget the sugar, then yeah, it's probably going to taste kind of funky. But you know, if you get the sugar in there and the chocolate in there, beyond that, it's just texture, right? I mean, it's just how the cookie forms, how the cookie crumbles after that. So yeah, he said he'd give us some, if I cared. He said he'd fill me in on the details as to what's going on tomorrow. I don't know. It's all right. It's like, I don't know. I mean, if he wants to tell me, that's fine. I'm not going to be nosy about it though. So I got a new mini for Christmas. It's actually a custom one from what is that? Hero Forge. I actually customized it, created it, put it on my wish list, and my son Casey and Jenny bought it for me. So that was cool. I was gonna do like a little box opening for it. I mean, I didn't. I already opened it, but I mean, I just put it back in the box and do a little review of the quality of how it came out. I didn't know that you could use heat to bend pieces back on resin minis. I know you can do that with plastic minis. It's common. You put hot water and then you can put it in cold water after it's been straightened, and it just sets them back in place. It's really nice. But I didn't know you can do that with resin. I kind of thought resin was not, kind of stuck. Yeah, stuff does happen. He's usually pretty good, so I'm sure he's got a reason. I feel like, was it last year or maybe it was Aaron. I don't know. Somebody like he canceled one year before for some reason. I think it was Aaron who said he was going to come and then changed at the last minute, which is, Aaron's done that too. I don't know that any of his group is coming. Aaron goes through times when he's highly social, and then he'll go through months where he's kind of like, I'm gonna just continue to stay at home. He has his moments. I don't know what his motivating factors are. Probably better if I straighten this out before I painted it, but I almost decided to go with points that were brass, but then I think this would look more like a curtain rod. Gold tips. Just felt like, I didn't want it to look like she fought with a curtain rod. Reopen the box? What do you mean? Reopen the box? You mean for the minis that are bent? I don't get it. That one went over my head, man. Yeah, my son Casey's the only one here right now. Anne actually went and picked him up. She picked him up because I guess, Jenny works and they didn't want to have two cars here, so she's going to come by after work, and then they'll just have the one car. which is probably good because we end up with a lot of cars in our yard. Our yard is pretty capable of holding a lot of cars, but oh, yeah, that's what I did. I this is it here. You can see it. That's it. I just kind of pulled it out, glanced at it, put it back in its little bag, and then, yeah, I'll just open the box again and we'll just review it. I just don't want it to be out for a long time because, you do a box opening, it's got to be pretty much fresh out of the box, just because any problems with an item, it's not legitimately spotted if the item has not really been in the box since you got it. So I just wanted to make sure it stayed protected and in its cushion and everything. I just checked it out, did a quick glance. I recognized it at first. I knew they got me a mini because they come in those small boxes, but I didn't realize it was the Hero Forge one until I opened it, and I'm like, oh, cool, man, and it was one of the, I had put it in as one of the higher print qualities that they have too. So it's the highest print quality. It's black and it looks pretty cool, but he's meant to be my my monk that in our D&D campaign that I'm playing in, and but once my monk gets his full astral form, which is like level 5 or 6 or something like that, he'll be able to kind of look like he has those parts. His wings are actually astral projections. They're not real. Yeah, I said I was going to wait. Well, I was going to wait before I fully opened it. I glanced at it, like I said. I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to do a box opening. Probably, I don't know, for Sunday maybe. I'll do a kind of a detailed box opening of it, where I open it up and look at it in detail under magnification and give my review of the quality of how good Hero Forge did on the print. And last time I have done one before where I ordered a mini and I did a little review on Hero Forge, and the review was okay. I gave them like a 6 or 7 out of 10 because they don't print very smooth minis sometimes. I don't know if it's because they're printing them fast, but they have really a high level of what do you call it? Texture of a printer to printer lines. Comes from using, I'd say, thicker filament or thicker printer lines, and it basically almost looks like rope stacked up. I mean, under magnification, you can actually see the texture, all the lines going. Now, if you use a really high resolution, it takes a lot longer for the printer, but it looks much smoother and much more high quality. And I'll have to compare a couple of other resin minis I have that I bought like on Etsy from one company who's got a Master of Miniatures. I bought some minis from. Now, these aren't custom, but they are, the same thing. They print these up on demand. And they print super high res, and they're awesome minis. I mean, they have like no printer lines. They clean them up. They cut off most if not all, and most of the minis that I had of the we call it the stents, the little things that support the parts while it's printing, and they just do an amazing job. So I'll compare to maybe one of them and kind of have them be my baseline right now for what I consider near perfect prints for resin minis. So far, I have seen terrible. Battleforge, when I did it last time, was not terrible. I've only seen one company I would probably rate pretty close to terrible. Terrible to me for prints is anything under a 5. Because, you spend money, they cost more money than typical minis. And if a mini's going to get a rating of a 5, then they are not worth the money spent. So to me, that's terrible. And one company, I think 526 Miniatures is the one that I mentioned both these two, Master of Minis and 526 Miniatures, as the high and the low end on the spectrum of quality done at like resin prints. And everybody else kind of falls in the middle. Some are pretty closer to the high, some are closer to the low, but those guys are the high and low end. And I review their customer service because I'll usually tell them what I think or any problems that I had. And it's not uncommon for some problems, like if a mini's broken. It does happen because a lot of them have those really, what do you call it, the crap, or not, I won't say the crap, the really spindly parts that are just fragile, and sometimes they get shipped and there's not a great, I think there's a better way to ship. Some of these guys just like, cover the figures with tons of what do you call it, the foam peanuts and stuff, and they I don't know, it's like, it's just not great. it tends to just look, it tends to break them because they like try to surround the fragile parts with this peanuts, and if that peanuts move at all, they will break. So you almost have to figure out a way to not touch. It's like their way of protecting it is by putting lots of cushion right on it, and it's like, no, the best way to protect it is to not let it get touched at all. Put it in like a little, you're almost better off putting it in a small plastic case or something small, just the size of the mini, or even coming up with a way that just wraps generically around parts, so that part doesn't get touched. But you want to not touch it. I think that's what they got to come up with, a better way to not touch the fragile parts, not just pad them up excessively, because I don't think that's the solution. Cheetah. That's kind of a good idea. A cheetah pattern. Well, I can kind of see that. I don't know that I would make it yellow cheetah pattern, but like a pattern like that, with the speckled dots. I like that. That's actually a pretty good idea. This is like, I'm going to paint him as, he kind of looks like a falcon of sorts, so maybe something like I was thinking of something like a snow falcon or something, but I like the idea of a cheetah color, cheetah pattern. I don't know if I would do the yellow of a cheetah though, the gold. But good idea, man. When I get to it, as you can imagine, I'm not going to get very far today. But see, when I've been doing the solo play of FrostHaven, I said between each new scenario, I want to get a little bit more paint on these guys. Just so that they're progressing in the paint realm, and so that's kind of why I had to make sure I find some time, because I was hoping to get another scenario in next week, either Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. I'm off Tuesday too, so I don't know yet what day, but. What time are you going to head out, man? I need to get me some metallic, I don't know if they even have them, but some metallic inks. Kind of let the zenithal priming show through. In case you didn't know, zenithal priming is when you paint when you prime them in two different colors, darker going upward and light going down. So this is like, you can see this guy is like, if you turn him upside down, he looks mostly black because I primed from the bottom black. And then from the top, I primed down with like a light gray, or it's an off-white kind of color. So he's, from the top, he's white, and the bottom, he's black, so that when you paint him, it actually creates almost a natural shading effect, assuming, of course, that you're using semi-transparent paints. Which, and you know, even so, even with, as long, or at least thin paints that are going to allow that shading to come through. It's kind of a way to kind of do it so you don't have to add the black later. And it can come out pretty nice. But if you use too thick of, too opaque of a paint, where it's got really, really heavy pigment, it won't shine, it won't come through. You'll end up having to still shade it. So you got to kind of watch that. Kind of an interesting character. I mean, so I'm looking at some of the, when you're painting them, you see all the fine details that they put into the print, and he's kind of got a weird, this armor around his legs is kind of awkward. Sometimes I wonder, how does that work? It's like, how can they walk? This armor is like right up to his ankle. It's like, I don't know if that works. It seems like you'd be, it could get kind of uncomfortable. Oh yes, the fun of trying to paint behind other parts of the, like not trying to get paint on the banners from underneath. That's always fun. Got a couple of new brushes. Got my new paint surface pad here. My glasses. Oh, hey, did you say my hoodie's cute? Cute. I don't know if I call it cute. I think it's cool. Cool, not cute. This is the same guy I've kind of been working on recently. These are characters from the FrostHaven. It didn't show up on my, I thought I put it in the title. I thought I saved the title update. It's got, this is Adrian, my character from that, and then this guy here is Royce, the one I've been using in FrostHaven. I did say that my goal was to, like I said, get some paint on these guys between scenarios, and since I finished scenario 2, I figured, well, better get some paint on because I want to do a new scenario. My glasses. I ordered glasses. I did go order them, but yeah, they're not. I mean, it's not like they're ready today. I won't get them for about a week. But they'll be all right. I mean, it's like I don't have to have them. Besides, if I was wearing these, I don't need glasses. They're magnifying everything. So yeah, I see every single little tiny bit of detail here. So I definitely do not need glasses while wearing these. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I'd have to probably change the... I don't even know if I could, because this would probably bug me, because the arms of my glasses would be in the way. I want to order. I want to buy or get. I was hoping someone would get it. They got me this pad from Redgrass, but I want their paint palette. It's time for me to upgrade to a full size palette. These palettes are awesome for travel because they fit in the X case and I can take them with me and paint in the airport, paint wherever I'm at. But if I want to sit at home, I think I actually want a full size palette. I'm kind of tired of working with these tiny things in a full-time capacity. I have to reset them too often because I'm painting frequently at home. So Redgrass Games has a pretty cool one, but it's just, I got to get around to budgeting it. I got a lot of cool stuff on my wish list though this Christmas. Just can't get everything because my wish list is big. Even with all the people I know. It's always so many. I was actually surprised to get this because my son just got it I just got it today because they ordered it. Took long to get here because Redgrass, I believe, they're not even in the U.S. So if you order something from them, it's going to take a few weeks. And if they ordered it at all late, towards the middle of December or even at the beginning, it might not have been able to get here. So it's just one of those things. But trying to. Girl's got all kinds of armor on her. I mean, she's basically wearing plate. I mean, she's a very, very well protected character. So I've got maybe 10 more minutes to paint. I don't know. It's getting pretty late. These people are going to be getting here pretty soon, so I will have to be signing off pretty quick. I was only supposed to do a short paint run, so just wanted to make progress each time until they're done. Just got to keep plugging away. Get a little bit more paint on each scenario. Now, there is a chance, I don't know if you heard me a little while ago, there's a chance I might be playing FrostHaven with some other people. So I still haven't really committed to putting any stickers down on the board. And when you do that, that's when you're kind of, okay, I'm in. I'm actually committing to solo play only. So at the moment, there's a tiny chance I may actually be playing with someone else. Because we're thinking about my D&D group that I do a Thursday night game with. Those that so it's like if we're ever short another person or two people, we're thinking we might just play FrostHaven because we only need 3 people. I mean, we could play 2, but I mean, be 3 or 4 people. I think if we have 3 or 4 people, we can play FrostHaven instead. Now the question is, could we learn it enough to actually get it done on a given night, though? That's the trick, because we don't want to be going all night. So we got to get started by same time, give ourselves, maybe get done by 2.5 hours. It'd be kind of almost a rush. I'd probably still try to stream them, though, if I could. Yeah, this guy's got thick armor. Or this girl. She's actually a chick. That's why I named her Adrian instead of Hadrian. I feel Hadrian is a guy's name. The top paint companies? Well, the most well-known one is probably Games Workshop. They make the Army. I think it's what do you call it? Citadel paints. And then, as far as quality of paints, well, there's a lot of debate out there as to who makes the best. A lot of people really like the Games Workshop paints, Citadel paints, but I use mostly Vallejo and Reaper paints. Squidmar, who's a pretty well-known painter online, actually did a review where he and his buddy used, like, I don't know, probably at least 15 to 20 different paints. They tried a bunch of them. They basically did a paint-off with all the different paint brands. And ultimately, the top 3 were Reaper, Vallejo, and Games Workshop Citadel paints. And they ultimately, the winner was Vallejo, which is not surprising. I mean, I like Vallejo paints. It comes down to a lot of different things. You know, it's like, how does it come off your brush? How does it, how good is it at staying wet enough for you to keep using? Because sometimes paints dry really fast. There's also things like, how well does it mix? Like, can you mix it with other brands of paint? Can you mix other colors in and get good variations in your paint? So there's a lot of things that they kind of considered, and just the ones that they felt they enjoyed painting with most, that gave them the results that they wanted. And yeah, they came out with these two. But it's interesting because they had never. I don't think either one of them really ever used. I think they said that they had never really used Vallejo or Reaper paints before. And ultimately, it came down to availability too. Citadel is known for being kind of an expensive paint. And I think they said it got a low scores because of the higher prices that come along with it. And that actually is part of the reason why the Citadel paints didn't win. Because Reaper and Vallejo are just a little bit more cost effective, given the quality of the paint. So that was interesting. Some people I've heard too think Reaper paints are kind of, I don't know, low grade. I don't know why. But I have a lot of both, so I use them all the time. Now, I do not consider myself an expert by any means, so keep that in mind if you're just getting my feedback on the fact that I have now tried, Citadel, Reaper, and Vallejo are my primaries, but I also have Army Painter and some other things. What time is it?
It's 5.
5?
You have been requested.
I have been requested? Okay. Well, I think it's enough for me today. Enough painting. But hey, thanks for stopping by, TDL. And I'm guessing Savinicus has already left his house, because I'm guessing he's on his way. But until next time, I'm going to probably stream tomorrow at our board gaming. I'll just have it going all day. So feel free to stop by and say hi. You have a